What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the SFS channel. My name is Gavin, and today I've got some more fantasy football lineup advice for you guys here in the Level 1 Fantasy Playoffs with my top 5 must-start wide receivers for Week 14. As always, if you guys are new here to the channel, make sure to go down and subscribe and turn the bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video or go live for a fantasy Q&A. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hit the intro and get into this week's 5 must-start wide receivers. My first guy that makes this list is Justin Jefferson, the rookie wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. And Jefferson right now is wide receiver 4 in half PPR formats and has 4 straight 15-plus fantasy point games. He has the 24th ranked Tampa Bay secondary this week and is a guy who I think will get involved in a highly contested, high-scoring matchup this week. I think that Tampa Bay is so good against the run this season that they are going to force the Vikings to throw the football more than they'd like to. And obviously for Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, that is a great situation for those guys to be in. And I think they're going to see some more volume this week and the opportunity for big plays against that secondary. So go start Justin Jefferson. You guys were probably going to either way. But regardless, I think the matchup this week is great, and he has a huge ceiling in Week 14. Next up on the list, I've got Keenan Allen here, and I think Keenan will have a bounce-back performance from what we saw from him in Week 13 against the Patriots. And leading up into that game, Keenan Allen had 6 straight performances of 10.5 points or more in half PPR scoring. Allen's been a pretty safe floor play all season long this year, but going up against the 31st ranked Atlanta Falcons secondary here, I think he has an even safer one and a pretty high ceiling because of that matchup. Obviously, Justin Herbert has been feeding him the football all season long, and that is great for Allen's fantasy value. And I think although the Falcons defense is improving right now, and they are not quite as bad as we saw them earlier on this season, they are still susceptible to big plays, and I think a veteran wide receiver with the savvy and talent of Allen can get the job done against this unit. Chris Godwin is another must-start for me this week, and just like I talked about with Justin Jefferson, I expect that Vikings and Buccaneers game to be highly scoring, and I think these wide receivers will have a great day in fantasy. Like I said before, without the Vikings being able to run at an efficient clip, I think they're going to be relying more on those wide receivers, and those guys are highly talented and can certainly get the job done against Tampa's secondary, and in turn, I think that makes the Buccaneers throw the ball more themselves and trying to keep pace with that Vikings offense. So I think this will be a high scorer, and I think Chris Godwin is my favorite wide receiver of the bunch there in Tampa because I like his floor better than anyone else there. And I think after the catch is also a very dangerous player that can put up a nice ceiling. Allen Robinson is a guy who's made my list numerous times this season. He makes it one more time here in Week 14. And for a guy facing the 21st ranked Houston Texans secondary, I already think that's a favorable matchup. And then when you add in the fact that their top corner is out right now with a suspension because of PED use, Allen Robinson, I think, has a really high ceiling. And we've seen him here all season long be a very dependable floor option, but I think his ceiling is great as well as the clear-cut favorite target in that Chicago offense. Chicago will also be tasked with trying to keep up with Deshaun Watson and the Texans' offensive production, so I think that bodes well for Chicago offensive players like Allen Robinson and even David Montgomery here this week. So in a great matchup, as always, I love Allen Robinson. His floor is spectacular week in and week out, but his ceiling is a touch higher than normal this week as well. And then my last player on the list here this week is Tyler Boyd of the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think this one is a bit of a sneaky pick here. Boyd only had 1 reception in Week 13 against Miami, but it went for 72 yards and a house call, but he was soon after that ejected for getting into a fight with a defensive back on the other team, and so Tyler Boyd was out for the majority of that game and didn't have the opportunity to produce down the stretch. Boyd has the number 29th ranked Dallas Cowboys secondary this week, and for a very talented wide receiver, I think he has the ability to put up a high ceiling this week. Not exactly the safest floor play because Cincinnati has some below average quarterback play, but the Cowboys secondary did allow 2 passing touchdowns to below average Ravens wide receivers in Week 13, so I think that bodes well for Boyd. I think we can see him put up nice numbers this week. Like I said, I think Tyler's a little bit risky because of the quarterback play there in Cincinnati, but in one-on-one situations, I think Boyd will win with ease and be able to find an open space in the field and haul in some nice grabs. So I trust Boyd this week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a very great fantasy day. Those are my top 5 must-start wide receivers for Week 14 NFL action. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and turn that bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video or go live for a fantasy Q&A. So thank you guys so much. We are approaching 1,000 subs here rapidly on the channel, and I couldn't be more thankful for all of you guys. So thank you again. I'll see you all later. Peace out.